Hey there guys, this is Malorian, and this is going to be another video about Warmachine and Hordes. Now, in the last video, I did my Warmachine and Hordes 101, where I really went over the basics of the game. Now, the next thing I want to do is kind of show you guys how you can build lists and what's some of the different ways you can really go about it. And one of the ones here I'm going to go quickly share my screen, is I love using this. This is Forward Commander. Now, like I was saying, there's lots of different ways you can build your list. You could go through the books and you could write it down with your paper and pen, old school. You could be taking your cards and laying them out and saying like, okay, now I got this many points, blah, blah, blah. Also, Privateer Press makes War Room, which is an app that you can get on your iPad, so you can do that as well. But I like this one here. It's called Forward Commander. You could use it for free, and Privateer Press lets them because they're cool. And what it lets you say is, hey, do you want to do Warmachine or Hordes? What faction do you want to use? If you want to use a tier list, which we'll be talking about another time, and then what size of game? Because, I mean, really, yeah, this never happens. Sometimes these happen. You're normally in this range here. So today we're going to be talking about 50 points. So we'll say create. And here it really shows you all the different things you get on the cards anyway. So there's all the casters here, all the warjacks, the battle engine, the units, the unit attachments, the solos, and then all the corresponding mercenaries as well. Now, beside that, you have the points. If it's epic, and in case you're not sure what the difference is, like, oh, what's the two different canes? They're really completely different casters, but they're linked within a timeline. So this is Kane at first, and then Epic Kane is Kane later on in life, really. So it is important that they're not completely different because some abilities or affinities might work, say with Striker, right? Old Rowdy works with Striker, so be it whether it's Striker 1, 2, or 3, they're all the same. But anyway, here you can see their characters. You can only take one of them for your list. Here, all the points, your jacks, and all these are unlimited or characters. And, for the units, depending on, what, 6 for 5 or 10 for 8, all the points and everything are here. I'll be keeping track at the top. And again, these are jack points when it comes to your warcasters. Now, where we're going to start with making these lists is the battle box. So we're going to take Striker 1, we're going to take a Charger, we're going to be taking the Defender, and we're going to be taking, sorry, not the Defender, I wish the Defender came in that, the Ironclad and the Lancer. So if you get the battle box, this is really it. You get this, and it's only 11 points. But again, remember, we have a big minus here, and we're going to build from this. So I'm going to assume that you're a starting player, and this is a different way you can build your list. So the first one we're going to look at is, well, what if you wanted to build your list off of your spells? Striker 1 has a lot of very good spells. He has Snipe, he has Arcane Shield, he has Blur. How would you build your list around that? Well, you could say, well, Snipe, what can I make Snipe even better on? Well, Long Gunners already have a range 14, and if they can aim, they get to shoot twice. So Snipe is awesome on them. So we're going to take a unit of them and use that spell. Now we're going to look at Arcane Shield. Well, we could put that on the jack there as well. It could be on them. Maybe we'll leave that right now because it could be on the jack. So that could be good. We could have a high armor unit. Like we could say maybe the Storm Lances, right? Maybe the Storm Lances, we'll use them. We can always put Arcane Shield there if we wish. Another one is Blur. What's going to be up there that's going to be shooting that we just really want to push to 11 where they just can't be shot back? What about Gun Mages? Gun Mages are great for that. And while we have Gun Mages, why don't we take the UA? Now, the unit attachment for the Gun Mages makes it so that they can ignore stealth and all that great stuff. So it's really, really nice to have. Another great thing for having the officer is that he can also run one of your jacks for you. He would not be in your battle group, but at least then he gets to basically get a boost for free or run for free. And as well, the Arcane Gun Mages have all these special shots, and then it goes to the jack as well. So all of a sudden we can take our, let's what we're going to do. Let's do the charger, because that's the only one with a gun, and we're going to put that onto them. And all of a sudden, for Striker, hey, that's one less you have to run. You don't have to. I mean, he has a powerful shot you might not want to do that with, but either way, you have that option. You can just move that around there. Now, after this, we can see that we're down to just 10 more points. Given the spells that he has, another great one is Earthquake. So if you do your Earthquake and knock something down, you know, also we could be shooting them with the long gunners. We could be shooting them with the gun mages. You know what? Let's throw that defender in there. We were talking about the defender. He has a great, long, strong shot. And you know what? We're going to put him with the gun mages because that'll be great. You know, you're really just needing to boost the one thing. He can be putting snipe on there if you want. That'll be awesome. Then we got 1 point. We have quite a few jacks here. So I'm going to go down to mercenaries, and I'm going to take a goblin tinker because he can fix them. He's kind of a mechanic. And right there, bam, based off the spells, this could be a list you would make. Now we're going to start all over again. We're going to get rid of all that. We're going to grab Striker. We're going to grab our Charger. We're going to grab our Ironclad, and we're going to grab our Lancer. Now, the next question is, well, what if we built it around the feet? He has a really cool feat where things get +5 armor. So if you're within his control range and your friendly faction, bam, for 1 round, you get +5 armor. And between that and Arcane Shield, that can put quite a huge armor skew. So one of the things we could be doing off that is, you know, like the Centurion already has very high armor. We might want to take him in there for that. Going down to our units, well, what do the units have? Very high armor. Well, we can be looking at the Sword Knights. They're nice and cheap, especially when you have Arcane Shield in there as well. Storm Lancers love to have all that extra high armor, so they could go in there. Precursor Knights, normally you can't cast spells on them. They have a spell ward ability, so spells can't be cast on them, whether they're from a friendly or enemy source, but the feat can still affect them. So they can actually take advantage of that, and their unit attachment's pretty awesome. So we're going to be doing that. We could be going down now. We only have 3 points, so there's not very much else we can do. There are some very good solos we could take for 3 points. And again, if we're going, maybe we'll do this. We'll take the Journeyman Warcaster. He's a solo that can also run some jacks, and he also has Arcane Shield. So this works great. We have 2 Arcane Shields we can use, and then they'll also buff up again with the actual feat. And we're going to give him one of the jacks as well. Let's give him the Centurion. And bam, if we're looking for a high armor skew, we got a list right there. Now let's make it again. And this time, we're going to build the list as if there is a specific thing we were trying to deal with. So it's more that in our friendly game store, in our meta, there's one guy that's crushing everyone. And let's say he's crushing everyone with Crix. He takes P-Scar, and he's going out there, and he's running tons of guys, and they're just running up and just running over everything. Well, what are we going to do to stop Crix? Well, we want to get a lot of stuff that's anti-infantry. So we're going to go down. We're going to take some gun mages, add on their UA because they're great. We want to grab the Black 13th. One of the things we might also want to do is get up some cover fires to really slow these guys down. So one of the things you could be adding in is maybe the Cyclone. You know, you could add in the Cyclone. Actually, one of the things it also has that is the Storm Wall, but the Storm Wall is a lot of points. And one of the things you'd be saying is, well, maybe we don't want to be spending this many points to get down that cover fire. Well, maybe instead of the Cyclone, we could go down to the units, or I guess it would be a solo, and we can be taking our weapon attachment. Master Gunner, where do we find that? Cannon Crew, Chain Gun Crew. There we go. We're going to take 2 of these guys to get some good old cover fire templates down. The Black 13th can put another one down. So what else we're going to do to be dealing with Crix and all these single model, you know, hordes coming towards us? Well, another thing we do is trying to get a lot of Electroleap. So how about we take the Storm Guard? They'll be a unit we can use. They have reach, they have a pretty good threat, and then all their attacks have Electro Leap, so they can go on and kill even more stuff. So that'd be great. So what else are we going to take? Well, we got about 14 more points. How about we go and we take the Blazers? These guys are kind of a fast cav type thing where these fast cavalry run around, shoot their guns, can run away after, and also have Electro Leap as well. So there's another nice one. Now, Crix also has some incorporeal models we might have to worry about. However, we have a lot of magical shooting already, so we could be using those 4 points on Iena and Holt, a solo team basically where they can be handing out magical attacks. But you know what? I don't think we're going to really worry about that because I think we're covered. So we're going to see what we can spend those 4 points on. And we're going to go down the list, kind of looking at all of our options here. There's a lot of great solos. What this could be here is just 2 great solos. Strange Ways. He's always can be interesting, but not against Crix. We're looking at Crix. So what specifically can we do against Crix? Now, Hearn and Joan, these guys can be interesting because what they are is a little tag team where the one guy just shoots off a bunch of AoEs. So if we're expecting a bunch of infantry, bam, let's add those guys in. And we got 1 point left. Sometimes those Arcanos can be a real pain for coming after us. How about we take a Stormcaller? We can knock those things out, or rather make sure that they're disrupted, and bam, we got our list here built to deal with Crix. So there you have it. I'm going to switch back now. And those are all the different ways you can build your list. So go ahead, try out Forward Commander. You could try out War Room. You can always just use the cards, whatever you want. But there really is a lot of ways you can build your lists. And either way, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.